Hi, this is Cindy Clark with Wendy Dryden from PAC-B TV. We are here this morning at the 2022 Memorial Day Parade in Baldwinsville, New York. They're prepping for the ceremony in front of the post office that honors our fallen veterans. The Boy Scouts will be singing Star Spangled Banner, and we will have taps played as well. There will also be a laying of the wreath.
There you go. I know you don't know.
Good morning, Scouts.
Good morning.
No. Good morning, Scouts.
Good morning.
There we go. Welcome back. We haven't done this in the last couple years, but we're strong, as our country is. Good morning. What we're going to do is once the colors raise up, hand salute. I will turn back to you guys, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be all yours.
Okay.
All right? Nice and loud.
No pledges.
We will begin with the call to colors. Commanders, raise the flag. Can't get it. Present. Hold.
We now have the raising of the colors by the American Legion Post 113 and the VFW Post 153.
Coming up right now is the Pledge of Allegiance by the Baldwinsville Girl Scouts and Boy Scout troops, Trail Life USA New York, American Heritage Girls New York, and the Royal Rangers from the Word of Life Christian Academy.
Will you please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Arm. Commander, place the wreath.
We're now having the placement of the wreath by the American Legion Post 113 and the VFW Post 153.
Color guard. Present. Arm.
The playing of taps by David Malecki.
Order! On! That concludes this ceremony. You guys all ready to march? Yeah! All right, let's line up. Thank you, guys.
While we're waiting for the parade to get going here in a few minutes, we can tell you Memorial Day was originally Decoration Day, and it was a day to decorate graves with flowers, wreaths, and flags. Memorial Day now is a day of remembrance for those who have died in military service to our country.
Just as a little bit of trivia, Memorial Day, the birthplace of Memorial Day, although others have tried to claim that it was their city, it is officially recognized as Waterloo, New York, which first celebrated the day on May 5th, 1866. It was chosen because it hosted an annual community-wide event during which businesses closed and residents decorated the graves of soldiers with flowers and flags.
And here we go.
And we're off.
This will be Police Cruiser 307 with Chief Mike Leffencheck in it. Mike just got back from Nashville where he celebrated the engagement of his son Greg. Congratulations, Greg and Jenna.
Your left, right left, your left, your left, your left.
It's the American Legion Post 113 and our VFW Post 153. And here's the Ladies Auxiliary for the American Legion Post 113 and the VFW Post 153. More auxiliary members, braver than me out in that heat. I see Rosemary Johnson with the Ladies Auxiliary, Janet St. John. Oh, Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts. I think they all were at the wreath ceremony in front of the post office.
Perfect's the enemy of good enough. I can stand up there next to Dan there, Liam.
No! What'd you say?
And here comes the Grand Marshal. That is Jeremy Boltus. He is an Army, he was the Assistant Operations Officer, the 10th Mountain Division at Fort Drum. He's a West Point grad. He plays Major League Lacrosse for the Rochester Rattlers. Oh, there's the mayor and the president of the day. Coast Guard Cody Burdick. And they're very well behaved German Shepherd. What a beautiful dog.
Now we have the
I see Sandy Baker with Tom Perkins. He's a Volunteer of the Year in 2019. And a Boy Scout troop carrying the banner of the Volunteers of the Year for 2019, 2020, 21. There is Janet Therian. She was the 2020 Volunteer of the Year. She volunteers for the Baldwinsville Volunteer Center. She started the Beeville Cares program. She volunteers at her church as well as the Baldwinsville Community Food Pantry. Another Volunteer of the Year. In a very snazzy Corvette. I believe that's Clara Rose Thomas. 2019 Volunteer of the Year. Wow, look at that car. Is that a Cadillac? What is it?
I don't know.
Eldorado?
It's a big car.
It's a barge. There's a
Not a
big
good
red
idea.
barge in the road. That is our student speakers. We've got, these three will speak at the Riverview Cemetery at the end of the parade. There's Leo Vona. He's going to read Logan's Orders. Andrew Secor will recite the Gettysburg Address. And Ava Graham will do In Flanders Field. Little trivia, your announcers today, Cindy Clark and Wendy Dryden, their mother recited In Flanders Field in 1939 when she was a senior at Baldwinsville Schools. It was at Elizabeth Street School then. And the Knights of Columbus. Who are they? This is Easy Company.
It sounds like the Baldwinsville Marching Band coming up.
Oh, my favorite part of the parade.
Yes, it is.
Gotta have a marching band.
Love a parade.
Oh, boy. My school. Oh, wow. Those flags are cool.
This band has done so well. We're so very proud of all of them.
With their black t-shirts and jeans. Oh, some have shorts. Going through this. Warmed up a lot this morning. That sounds like Philadelphia Freedom, Elton John. Wow, they look sharp. They're awesome uniforms. Yeah, it was fun. I love a marching band.
Boy, we are so proud of this band. What a wonderful job they did.
Those uniforms, those hands.
They have it together now. Kenwood Senior Center. Bruce Seco, Village Board Member. Ruth Troy, the Director. We've got some of the Beeville officials, and here we have Town of Van Buren officials.
Hi, Howard.
Now we have the Town of Lysander officials coming in this big dump truck, all washed up for the day.
That's Van Buren. That's Town of Van Buren.
Oh, is it still Van Buren?
I see their logo on the truck, Town of Van Buren.
Okay. We've got a little stop in traffic here, and they're probably doing the wreath ceremony at the bridge where we have bagpipers. This is to honor our fallen veterans lost at sea. The bagpiper is Shannon Kennedy, and they are probably doing that right now.
This wreath is a symbol of eternity and life everlasting. Thus do we say the deeds of our soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines on the sea are immortalized in the hearts of a grateful people. Present forward.
Parade is resuming again, and now I believe we have the Town of Lysander officials.
This is the Town of Lysander officials and Parks and Recs. And our supervisor, Bob Wicks, and Pete Moore, a counselor. And there's a car for Bill Magnarelli. Oh, look at the pretty horses. Oh, that one horse. The one horse tried to kick the other. Our program says Horses by Chris Wimler. Well, thanks, Chris Wimler. Beautiful horses. Oh, we got some sparkles going on them. Oh, cleanup duty.
Yep.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yep.
And here's a Baldwinsville Volunteer Fire Company, which is part of the Northwest Fire District. Looking sharp in their dress uniforms. Now all the kids on the streets are excited. Every kid loves a fire truck. Here's a pumper truck. Northwest Fire District, protected by Baldwinsville and Lysander fire departments. Here's one of their squad trucks. This is a car representing Vietnam veterans. Thank you for your service, land, sea, and air. Oh, and a nice reminder that Seneca River Days is coming up, June 10th and 11th on Paper Mill Island. That's a Rotary Club event and always fun. That's a neat float. It represents the duck races for Seneca River Days. You buy a duck, they let them loose up at what was Cooper's Marina. They come down the river and pick them out. If your number wins, the number's picked, you win some money. Lovely prizes. There's a gremlin.
I know. Boy, that brings back memories.
Yeah, it should.
Oh. The Girl Scouts. This is the local Girl Scouts troop.
Cindy had a gremlin. Purple gremlin.
I might add. Now this is the Cub Scouts or the Girl Scouts. This is the Girl Scouts troop. They're all dressed up in their patriotic outfits.
Troop 61487. Oh, those are daisies, I do believe. Woo! Daisies have some candy. This is Miss Military Star New York. I see a Plainville fire truck coming. Engine 3, Plainville Fire District. I see a giant bee. This is Beeville Pop Warner, football and cheerleading. Well, this truck is decorated as nicely as the horses were. CNY Pop Warner Little Scholars, 2019 Mighty Might North. I see Mike Mazaway and Kathy Mazaway. That is in Mike's Pride and Joy, his 51 Plymouth. Nice car. Little Red Express truck, a Dodge. Back when Dodge trucks were called Dodge trucks. Nowadays they're Rams. Oh boy. I worked on this pronunciation. It's an Irish dance troupe, and I believe it's pronounced Skol Rinka Branwen, which I think means Irish dance school.
Now, what do they call that? Irish stepping? Very clever, very nice.
All the way to...
I hope the viewers are catching this. It's very nice. The Infinity Dance Company.
More of the dance company, which I'm reading is located on 80 Smoky Hollow Road. Must be up in the old Smith's Plaza.
That's pretty.
Next up is a 1921 Ford Hot Rod, driven by Pat Lyons. Team Andrello Martial Arts Doja, up in the Smith's Plaza on Smoky Hollow. This must be the Island Band.
Is that what that is?
I was reading about them. It said it's a fun band that doesn't care about marching in formation.
It looks like a Jimmy Buffett reunion.
They ought to be over at Margarita Fest. Yep, the Island Band. Here's a float by Plainville Christian Church. Next up is Bright Visions Early Learning Center. It's a preschool out Village Greenway on O'Brien Road. Thank you to our military, that young man says. there's another Cadillac. That must be Charlie Luke. Truck 2, Belgium Cold Springs Fire District.
Now we have the Seneca River Fire District engine number 4. And next we have the Baldwinsville Pee Wee Wrestling. It's on the move. Next up, we have the Baldwinsville Community Wesleyan Methodist Church. They've got a nice float. Very nice. Next up, we have a 1957 Chevy Bel Air with Joe Moyshik. He certainly spent some time washing and waxing his vehicle. And next we have the Saving Face Barber Shop. Look at those scissors. I wonder if he uses those to cut hair.
It's not going to save anybody's face, really.
And then we have the Chirping Truck Company. They're very community oriented. They've done a very nice job. Next up, we have Brandon Williams, who is a U.S. Congress candidate from Central New York.
All these trucks are, this is the New York Ram Club Patriotic Vehicles. It appears that each one is carrying a military veteran. Oh Oh, Cindy, I see some kids on bikes down there. We were talking how that seems to have faded away. That was a beginning of our summer. It's like it was officially started when you decorated your bike with crepe paper and put some playing cards, hooked them with clothespins so they snapped when you rode, and you took lilacs with you and rode your bike to the parade and threw the lilacs over the bridge in remembrance of our fallen veterans. We were proud little kids back then. Oh, look at him.
Well, you'll be happy to know, Wendy, that I do have a bike with streamers, and I would love to be in a parade. I remember those days.
Next year. There's always next year.
That's right. That's right. That was more fun.
You can be the roving reporter, the mobile reporter on the bike.
And my bike does have a bell. I didn't know if you knew that.
Yeah. Yay for kids on bikes.
That's right. River Rat Bike Club.
GBAC, Baldwinsville Ambulance Corps. Our parents were very involved with that for years. Barney and Lucille Clark. Life members. I recognize that truck, Big Red Towing.
Big Red. Now, I wonder if anybody's anticipating any issues here. We've got a big old tow truck. And that is the end of the day. That's the end of the parade. It's been a great day. It started out a little rainy, but it cleared up. Now it's actually a little warm. What a wonderful Memorial Day parade in Baldwinsville, New York.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for taking part. We are going to get started in a few minutes. I'm trying to project this way, speakers this way. As we go, just like where this gentleman is, please, if you come down these steps, some of the bricks are loose. I strongly suggest if you come up and down, use the grass for safety. And there again, if anybody wants to move or get yourself set, we're going to start in less than 10 minutes with the ceremony. Thank you.
The parade just got completed.
Okay. Oh. Morning, everyone. Welcome. Been a couple years since we've been here, so if we make any mistakes, it's TR's fault. Commanders, please raise the colors. On your feet. Color guard, attention. Present, horse. At ease. We are honored to raise the Kyle Snyder Memorial flag. Would you please join me in the opening prayer, Uncover. Father of all of us, in the depth of our silent reverence, we realize the truth of inspired words. I am the resurrection and the life. He that believe in me, though he were dead, yet he lived. As comrade after comrade departs, we march on with our ranks growing thinner. Help us to faithfully unto thee and unto another. Look in mercy on the widows and children of our departed comrades. We beseech thee in thy own tenderness, console and comfort those who are bereaved. We ask thee to grant thy blessings upon all who gather here today to remember the sacrifices of our gallant Americans. Heavenly Father, through thy favor, when we meet at last before thy throne in heaven, we praise thy great name forever. Amen. Will you please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance and our singing of our national anthem. Color Guard, attention, present, arms. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May be seated. Welcome on this glorious day. Here in the village of Baldwinsville, town of Van Buren, Lysander, and all the little hamlets around that forever, when this great nation is called, we have answered. We will begin with the introduction of the guests. 2022 President of the Day and guest speaker, the Village of Baldwinsville, Mayor Richard Clark. Our Memorial Day Parade Grand Marshal, Jeremy Boltis. Village of Baldwinsville trustees, Ruth Seco and Nate Collins. Village of Baldwinsville Police Chief, Michael Laffencheck. Town of Lysander Supervisor Robert Wicks. My bad, I didn't see you standing over there. I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor. Onondaga County Legislature, Brian May. He's behind the bushes. Town of Lysander Councilors Peter Moore and Robert Ellis. Town of Van Buren Town Councilors Howard Tupper, Darcy Lesnack, Wendy Van Der Water. Oh yeah, Mike Kilchansky. American Legion, Post 113, Commander Don Collette. And presenting for the American Legion, Post 113, Ladies Auxiliary, Barb Collette. VFW Post 153, Commander Martin McBride. VFW Post 153, Auxiliary President Marshall Amaran. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I get to introduce the Baldwinsville Volunteer Center Volunteers of the Year. Not just this year, but of the last 3, since we haven't had this. 2019, Tom Perkins. 2020, Janet Theron. And 2021, Leslie Morelli and Pam Paulson. Our student speakers, Ava Graham. Leonard Vono. And Andrew Secor. Back in the shade, we have our piper, Shannon Kennedy. And our trumpeter, Dave Malecki. And the VFW Post 153, American Legion Post 113, and the American Legion SAL. A combined effort this year with our color guard and our firing detail. Thank you, gentlemen. We will now have the laying of the wreath. For the flag, Village of Baldwinsville Police Chief Mike Laffencheck. For the honor roll, President of the Day and guest speaker, the Village of Baldwinsville Mayor Richard Clark. Now for the Grand Army of the Republic Monument, Jeremy Boltus, our Grand Marshal. Please join us in singing the first verse of America the Beautiful. By the Baldwinsville Community Band, we will now hear the Armed Forces Salute. When you hear your branch, please stand and sound off. And at this time, with the Air Force, any Air Force veterans, please stand up. And last but not least, I know we have one here, the United States Coast Guard. Thank you. In the spirit of honoring men and women of this community who faithfully served in our country's armed forces, the Baldwinsville Memorial Day Committee is proud to honor Jeremy Boltus as Grand Marshal for the 2022 Memorial Day Parade. Jeremy, born and raised in Baldwinsville, graduated from Baker High in 2007. He received a congressional nomination to attend the United States Military Academy. Hoo-ah. During his time at the Military Academy, Jeremy played lacrosse, becoming the third highest ranked individual of all time points for the Army Academy. Jeremy graduated from the Army Academy in 2011 and was commissioned a second lieutenant. Once commissioned, he served as a fire support officer, platoon leader, and executive officer for 277 Field Artillery out of 41D, Fort Carson, Colorado. During his time with the 41D, Jeremy deployed to Kandahar, Afghanistan to support Operation Enduring Freedom in 2014. Following a successful deployment, the PCS to Fort Drum to serve on the division staff of the 10th Mountain Cavalry. Jeremy served in the United States Army for 7 years. Following his Army career, Jeremy returned to Central New York area, where he has been employed by Lockheed Martin for the past 5 years. He currently lives in Syracuse with his wife Stephanie and their 2 dogs, Griffin and Gemma. Ladies and gentlemen, our Grand Marshal. The Baldwinsville Memorial Day Committee is honored to introduce the Village of Baldwinsville Mayor Richard Clark as President of the Day guest speaker. Dick, a Baldwinsville native, graduated from Baker High in 1964. In 1970, he earns a Bachelor's of Science degree in radio and TV with a minor in journalism from Southern Illinois University. Following college, Dick returned to Baldwinsville and in 1971 became a 36-year career as a reporter for the Syracuse Herald-American and the Post-Standard. He reported on high school sports for 12 years and spent the last 6 years of his career as a governmental reporter. It was the job that intrigued him interest in becoming involved in local politics. Following his 2007 retirement, Dick worked at the New York State Fair in the sports activity, and in 2009, he ran and was elected trustee on the Baldwinsville Village Board. In 2014, he ran and was elected mayor of Baldwinsville and has since been re-elected twice. Dick has spent the majority of his adult life in the service to the village of Baldwinsville. In addition to his commitment through local politics, in 1973, Dick co-founded the Baldwinsville Booster Basketball Association. For 30 years, he went on to coach basketball at various levels, including 6 years as a varsity boys coach at Baker High School. In addition, Dick and his wife Linda, of 37 years, also a Baldwinsville graduate, have continued to active alumni on their reunions committee. Besides spending his free time with Linda, stepsons and grandchildren, Dick is an avid New York State Yankees, SU, and Cleveland Browns fan. It is with great pleasure that we welcome Mayor Dick Clark. We are honored to have him as our guest speaker today.
Thank you very much. It turned out to be an absolutely beautiful day, just like I ordered. I got to say, you miss a lot of things during the COVID, but I really miss Gary Brown running this memorial service. He's got such a great way, and then give him a nice round of applause. Nice job, Gary. Getting to speak in this position is truly an honor. It's one of the highlights of my career because the village of Baldwinsville is a part of my heart. And to be able to stand up here and acknowledge all the years of love that the village and I have shared makes it a special time. And the parade and the ceremony are a chance for our village to really stand out. I don't think anybody does a better parade. This ceremony is second to none anywhere. And after 2 years off with COVID, it was so good to go through downtown and see people of all ages waving flags, just looking like they were happy to be here. So pretty good day for me and a great day for the village. It's important to recognize the efforts of some of the people who make this happen, particularly the Memorial Day Committee. I know Tom and Linda Ross are kind of the face of the committee, but there are a lot of other people involved, and it's not easy to tie everything together. If you look at the program and realize what they have to get ready for this parade, it's a year-long adventure. I mean, they'll probably start in another couple weeks getting ready for next year's parade. So you should be very thankful that we have people who care and that our parade is first class, and this ceremony as well. Also, when we mentioned village trustees, Eric Reinigal is also here, one of our new members. I'd like to make sure Eric is acknowledged. Appreciate the board members that showed up today. It's important to recognize the efforts, too, of our VFW 153 and the American Legion 113. The officials have put so much into this parade. They're here every year. I know Don Collette has a big hand in placing the flags around the village. He works with our DPW crew to get the flags in the right place. Like this? Okay. Very good. Thanks. See, that's why Tom Ross is so valuable. And as a mayor, I'm proud to thank our DPW, led by Chuck McAuliffe. If you drove through the village, you saw flags, you saw flowers, and you saw clean streets. And that's through a lot of hard work and preparation that our DPW put in the last week or two. And again, very proud to look at the downtown area and just realize all the effort that went into that. It looks like it's easy just to stick flags up, but it takes a lot of time. And again, thanks to the DPW. Thanks also to our police department under Chief Leffencheck and Lieutenant Mike Lockwood. It's a lot of coordination to keep these streets shut off that need to be shut off and to keep the parade route safe for everybody. And again, hats off to the police department. Memorial Day's always had a special meaning in our household, the Clark household, that is. Our dad, Barney Clark, served in the Army Air Corps in World War II, was stationed in Yoxford, England. He serviced B-25 bombers for sorties into Germany during the war. He was a teammate there with a great pilot, Chuck Yeager, who was the first man to break the sound barrier in a plane. And they had a nice little friendship over the years. Fortunately for us, Dad came home from the service. He made it. But he never hesitated to talk about his pride in wearing the uniform representing the United States. And he also mentioned often the people who never came back and how hard it was to think about those people and their families. Our mom, Lucille Blagoff Clark, was a student at Balmesville Academy and was chosen to recite Flanders Field in this same Memorial Day event in 1938, 84 years ago. And she didn't read it. I couldn't not read it if I had to do it, but she memorized it. And up until pretty close to the day she died, she was almost 70, she could still recite Flanders Field without any prompts or anything. And she often would just say, "We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Field." Can't forget all the people who never came home and are still buried in foreign soil. And just think about that when you think about your freedom. She knew the significance of those words, and she would like to have seen me be able to memorize it. It just wasn't happening. I tried. But I get goosebumps every time I hear it read at this service, and anytime I hear anybody on a Memorial Day service from Washington recite it. It just means a lot, and to not forget those who gave it all. And I would like to remind you that our service is always on May 30th, the original Memorial Day. Now the rest of the world created a Monday holiday so that they could combine holiday with their Memorial Day celebration. This year it happens to coincide. The 30th falls on a Monday, which is the holiday. But normally we are our own event. We've kept it that way, and we plan to keep it that way to remember just how significant it is. Somewhere I just know my father's got somebody corralled and he's elbowing him and saying, "That's my son." I'm sure he's very proud. Was very proud of him, and I'm sure my mom just got a big smile, because she didn't say a lot, but she always had that big smile, just to let you know that she was proud of you. And it's also kind of interesting. Some of you may have seen the PAC-B tent by the library, and the two people doing the PA for the parade this year, not announcing all the people, are my two sisters, Cindy and Wendy. So we got all three of us tied up in this parade, and we developed that civic pride through our parents. It's a legacy they handed down and still goes on today. Wallinsville was a great place to grow up, a village where Memorial Day always meant something. Generation after generation grew up in this community. Some moved away, and many of them came back. I got a text the other day from an old-time friend. He probably doesn't like the word old used in front of his name, but Bill Long, who's a local businessman. In the 60s, we used to, like on a Friday or Saturday night, if there wasn't anything going on, the two of us would be in his vehicle. Whoops. Or my vehicle, and we'd be riding around the village late at night, 11, 12 o'clock, and just talking, as great friends can do. And we would talk about where we thought we'd end up in life, what road we'd take. And so I got a text the other day from him, out of the blue. I hadn't heard from him in a while. And Bill's text, he wondered if I ever remembered us talking in our late night journeys about me winding up mayor in 50 years and being named the president of the day for the Memorial Day Parade. No, I never thought that was ever going to happen. It never even crossed my mind. But I do think that the two of us in those rides around the village and our long talks expressed the fact that both of us loved this village and thought that winding our careers up here, spending our lives here, would be a great thing to do, and that's what we've both done. He's raised his family here. I've never left. We both love Baldwinsville, and this is one of the highlights of the year. I would say, based on what we used to talk about, that Bill Long and I are living the dream. We've had great lives in our hometowns with our families around us. But if you look at this monument right here, and I never really looked at it as close as I did about 2 weeks ago, and read some of the names and realized how many of the names I recognize. I also saw two names on there that I graduated from high school with, that were great guys. Doug Page, Jimmy Seawright, two young men, much to offer in life, and they never got to reach their potential because of the Vietnam War. They never came home. A third name should be up there. I'm going to have to talk to somebody to get it up there. Bob Barnes. He was a graduate with us in 1964, and I think unfortunately his mother moved to Cato while he was in the service. So when he was a casualty of war, they listed him as being from Cato, New York, but actually he was from Baldwinsville. He was a 64 graduate. Great friend. He had the biggest head of red hair, curly red hair, and it just was so hard to imagine he was never coming home. Three classmates who never got to live the dream. Gone, never forgotten, which is why we celebrate Memorial Day. Baldwinsville's played a prominent role in America's wars. There's quite a few people in this cemetery buried who served in the military, some of them in wartime. What a great place. If you've never had a chance to walk around the cemetery and look at the names, it just takes my breath away, because not only are military guys, but great friends, teachers. I mean, you see our Carroll and Nostrand and Pelcher among the names in this cemetery, and realize the history that's here, and all of it with the Seneca River standing patrol as it drifts on by. Great place to spend some time. Memorial Day has historically been a great time for speeches. In 1982, President Reagan spoke at Arlington National Cemetery. Earlier today, with the music that we've heard and that of our national anthem, I can't claim to know the words of all the national anthems in the world, but I don't know of any other that ends with a question and a challenge as ours does. Does that flag still wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? That is what we all must ask. I think because of our great military and on the backs of people who died in service to our country, I think that question is easily answerable as yes. It's also why we can't forget those who didn't come back. Oliver Wendell Holmes, a veteran of the Civil War, delivered an address in 1884, 2 decades before he was appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court. So to the indifferent inquirer who asks why Memorial Day is still kept up, we may answer, it celebrates and solemnly reaffirms from year to year a national act of enthusiasm and faith. It embodies in the most impressive form our belief that to act with enthusiasm and faith is a condition of acting greatly. He continued, our dead brothers still live for us and bid us think of life, not death, of life in which their youth they lent the passion and joy of the spring. As I listen, the great chorus of life and joy begins again, and amid the awful orchestra of seen and unseen powers and destinies of good and evil, our trumpets sound once more a note of daring, hope, and will. Just a few months before he became president, Calvin Coolidge delivered an address in 1923. He stressed the importance of American ideals. He honored America's fallen in Memorial Day by saying, we set the day apart to honor all those now gone who made the cause of America their supreme choice. He quoted the Bible, greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. I know that Facebook is a very, you either love it or you hate it. I mean, I know people on both sides. But there was one post on there last week that really hit home. Monday will be the most expensive holiday on the calendar. Every hot dog, every burger, every spin around the lake, or drink with friends and family is a debt purchased by others. This is not about all who served. That day comes in the fall. This one is to honor those who paid in life and blood, whose moms never saw them again, whose dads wept in private, whose wives raised kids alone, and whose kids only remembered them from pictures. This isn't simply a day off. This is a day to remember that others paid for every free breath you ever get to take. Freedom, we must never forget. Again, I'd like to thank the committee for giving me this opportunity to stand before you and honor those who were a huge part of the foundation of this country, to honor our village. This morning it looked a little gloomy, but you know, this is a Chamber of Commerce day, beautiful day to take a few minutes to remember those who've gone and did not come home. God bless you all, and God bless the United States of America.
Thank you, Mayor Clark. And American Legion Commander Don Collette, VFW Commander Martin McBride, please step forward. Mayor Clark, Jeremy, you please step forward. From the Baldwinsville Memorial Day Committee, in appreciation to the President of the Day and guest speaker, Mayor Richard Clark, for his participation in the Greater Baldwinsville Memorial Day observance on May 30th, 2022. From the Baldwinsville Memorial Day Committee, in appreciation to Grand Marshal Jeremy Boltis for his participation in the Greater Baldwinsville Memorial Day observance, May 30th, 2022. Each year, 3 junior students from Baker High School are asked to repeat famous words from history's past. The works have been chosen for their message of remembrance for those who sacrificed their lives and provided a solemn backdrop for the ceremony's tradition. Each word also marks our history with war. Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, General John Logan's Orders for the Civil War, and a poem by John McCrae in Flanders Field for World War I. Students are chosen for their level of engagement in the United States history class and their interest in current events. They are also selected based on their qualities that make them role models for the younger community of students: politeness, kindness, modesty of their accomplishments, and curiosity in the pursuit of knowledge. To read General Logan's orders, read by Leo Bona.
Logan's Orders by Commander-in-Chief John A. Logan, May 5th, 1868. General Order Number 11. The 30th of May, 1868, is designated for the purpose of strewing with flowers or otherwise decorating the graves of comrades who died in defense of their country during the late rebellion, and whose bodies now lie in almost every city, village, and hamlet churchyard in the land. In this observance, no form or ceremony is prescribed, but posts and comrades will in their own way arrange such a fitting services and testimonials of respect as circumstances may permit. We are organized comrades, as our regulations tell us, for the purpose, among other things, of preserving and strengthening those kind and fraternal feelings which have bound together the soldiers, sailors, and Marines who united to suppress the late rebellion. What can aid more to assure this result than by cherishing tenderly the memory of our heroic dead, who made their breasts a barricade between our country and its foes. Their soldier lives were the reveille of freedom to a race in chains, and their death a tattoo of rebellious tyranny in arms. We should guard their graves with sacred vigilance. All that the consecrated wealth and taste of the nation can add to their adornment and security is but a fitting tribute to the memory of her slain defenders. Let no wanton foot tread rudely on such hallowed grounds. Let pleasant paths invite the coming and going of reverent visitors and fond mourners. Let no vandalism of avarice or neglect, no ravages of time testify to the present or to the coming generations that we have forgotten, as a people, the cost of free and undivided republic. If other eyes grow dull, and other hands slack, and other hearts cold in the solemn trust, ours shall keep it well as long as the light and warmth of life remain in us. Let us, then, at the time appointed, gather around their sacred remains and garland the passionless mounds above them with choicest flowers of springtime. Let us raise above them the dear old flag they saved from dishonor. Let us, in the solemn presence, renew our pledges to aid and assist those whom have left among us as sacred charges upon the nation's gratitude. The soldiers and sailors, widow and orphan. It is the purpose of the Commander-in-Chief to inaugurate this observance with the hope it will be kept up from year to year. While a survivor of war remains to honor the memory of his departed comrades, he earnestly desires the public press to call attention to this order and lend its friendly aid in bringing it to the notice of comrades in all parts of the country in time for simultaneous compliance therewith. Department commanders will use every effort to make this order effective. By command of John A. Logan, Commander-in-Chief.
Thank you, Andrew. And now in Flanders Field, read by Ava Graham. Leo, I apologize. Yes. Yep. Corrections. Andrew Seacole will recite Gettysburg Address.
Fourscore and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation, or any nation so conceived and so dedicated, can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But, in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it, far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave their last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and the government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
Thank you, Andrew. And I was just making sure the students were paying attention to what order they go. And now, to read in Flanders Field, read by Ava Graham.
In Flanders Fields by Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae, May 1915. In Flanders Fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If you break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields.
Thank you, Ava. And now the hymn, God Bless America. Hold for one. Hold for 1 second, please. If we notice this year, for those that have been here, this is a little different the way we're doing the ceremony this year. What we're doing is when we do this, normally we place the flowers upon the honor roll. We will do that at the end because every one of those names shall be read and heard in the wind, the same wind that flies that flag. And when we do that, just like I challenge all of you, when you visit your cemetery, whether here, anywhere, you go to visit a loved one, you pass a veteran's grave, say their name. Say their name out loud. So this great nation never forgets those. God bless America. VFW and American Legion Auxiliaries will have flowers here for anyone that wishes to come forward as we read the names in place. Dedicated to the men and women of this community who faithfully served in the armed forces of our country. Philippine insurrection, Thomas Comerford. World War I, James M. Barnes. James E. Bettinger. Guy Calkins. Harold Cole. Eddie Grossbeck. Lawrence McCarthy. Dominic Pentillo. Howard Rawlings. John E. Reynolds. Albert Glenn Richardson. Harry Richford. Alexandra St. Dennis. And Bernice Suttle.
World War II, Mason W. Atwood, Ray Beals, Charles Brammer, Oscar Brown III, Francis Cole, Donald Coolidge, Lloyd Davis, Raymond Dennison, John DeCirio, Richard Glass, Delbert Haley, Charles Hobbs, Otis Ingleston, Ronald Isaac, Derwin Kellicott, Bernard Lampson, Mac Mills, Benjamin Odell, Robert Payne, Donald Pickard, Clayton Redout, Grant Schaff.
World War II continued. Carlton Smith, Francis Smorrell, Charles Summers, Samuel Spoto Jr., Milton Stafford Jr., Harold Stearns, Harold Stratton, John Swanson, Donald Thompson, Donald G. Thompson, Donald J. Thompson, Harold Tucker, Chester Warner. Korean War, Walter Freeman, Frederick Mills.
Vietnam War, Robert Hatherman, Lucius A. Huggins III, Bernard D. Johnson, William F. France Jr., Douglas A. Page, Carl F. Perry, Gary F. Schuler, James A. Seatwright, Carl H. Torello, Thomas R. Walsh, the Afghanistan War on Terrorism, Kyle R. Schneider.
Before we have our final prayer, I'd like to take this moment to thank our Baldwinsville Community Band for today. Thank you. The Village of Baldwinsville, Town of Van Buren, Town of Lysander, for all that you do for the veterans of this community. Commanders, American Legion Don Collette, VFW Post 153, Martin McBride. Thank you, and the auxiliaries. And thank all of you for being here. To care and to understand what today is about. Enjoy the picnics. Enjoy everything about this great weekend. Remember the price that was paid. And remember, in Abraham Lincoln, we shall never forget them. Please join me in the closing prayer. Heavenly Father, bless our country with freedom, peace, and righteousness. We thank you for this blessed and bountiful land. Help us to renew our loyalty to this great country. We ask your blessing upon our MIAs, POW, KIAs, and the fallen heroes of all wars, especially the men and women of the armed forces who are serving today, both home and abroad. We pray for those who have been called to thy bosom, that whatever justice they have been denied in this life has been granted to them 100-fold. We thank you for sparing the lives of our veterans here today. We ask you bless those that continue the care for our comrades through their service with the veterans of foreign wars and the American Legion. Comrades in the silent world, land beyond, wherever your mortal remains may rest, these solemn services we hold in tribute to you. Amen. Firing detail. Attention. Present. Halt. Ready. Aim. Fire. Ready. Aim. Fire. Ready. Aim. Fire. Present. Halt. Now our hymn, Stars and Stripes Forever. This concludes our Memorial Day service. Thank you to this great village. Thank you, and God bless to this great nation. Amen.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Great job. Thanks, great job. Thank you.